If we are a slave in this life, then we are dust in the next life. So we have to do some thinking. We have to go deeper, deeper, deeper. We have to go beyond the power of a telescope reaching to the furthest galaxies, and we have to go further than the strongest microscope to see the smallest microorganisms. We have to go in with another kind of eye. And Allah Almighty says you cannot do that except through intercession. Allah Almighty says you cannot take out of that knowledge except that He willeth. When Allah Almighty wants to take us deeper, Allah Almighty take those who can take us deeper. He sends those who can take us deeper. Because you can never reach through our mentality. When Allah Almighty said, beloved Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the levels that those people, those Sahabas reached, were levels on the level of prophets and beyond. Even though they weren't prophets. That same reality exists. All guides have guides. And they keep that because they are the ones to take them beyond the horizons that we cannot reach beyond with our mentality. They can take us further. Yes, Shaitan blocks us. Where's your passport? Okay, there's the discrepancy on your passport. No, you can't go. Who is he to give authority not for us to go? We give him that authority. Instead of busting him in his nose and moving along, okay, Master Shaitan. I ain't nothing, I ain't got nothing, I ain't gonna be nothing. When Allah Almighty is giving us honor, and we accept mediocrity. Mediocrity is the biggest sin. If we come through this life and we don't become masters of the universe, that means we were mediocre. So how many people of the 7 billion are going to be in hellfire? Who are going to be dust? Allah always shows, give us a sign and symbols before that happens. And that's why out of the 7 billion, 6 billion will be taken away. Only maybe 1 billion people will be here as the kingdom of heaven on earth. When Isa ibn Maryam, Jesus Christ, descends physically, spiritually present, where will we be? Where will we be when that time comes? Dust? Rust? Or will we be live and well, closer in unity with our Lord Allah Almighty? It is our choice. And that's why guides always submit their will to guides. That is the rope of Islam. That is the power. That is the power that holds everything. That's the oneness of Allah Almighty. Anything that's not in the oneness with Allah Almighty becomes out of orbit. Most people are out of their orbits. Out of orbit, to be lost and confused. If you don't know who you are, you don't know where you are. And what you hear does not apply to you because you don't know that it applies to you. So we continue to live a deviant life because we are out of orbit. To die like that is the worst tragedy. We accept it because we reject guidance. Guidance is everything. It's everything. It's everything. When I say everything, it's everything. Everything comes from guidance. Your health, your wealth, your soul, everything. Your positioning in this life and the next life comes from guidance. All guides have guides. And they keep the guides like we keep the oxygen. Inhale and exhale. love that discipline. They love being under guidance. They love getting something for their souls. It makes them happy to get guidance and to hear and obey. Hear and obey is just using the guidance and applying it and going up. That's all it is. Why do we fight that? Because we want this life, and it ends. We're asking Allah Almighty to forgive us for making the wrong choices and not keeping guidance. One way on Tawfiq and fight. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala khairil muslimin Muhammadin Nabi ummi wa ahlihi wa sahbihi ajma'in amma ba'd. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillah, the mother of Isa ibn Maryam, her station is such that very few people reach her station. That's the goal, to be one with Allah Almighty. Who does not want to experience that? We're being invited to that. That invitation was not always available for people. But Allah Almighty has sent us guidance. It's one thing to desire it, to pray for it, but it's another thing when Allah Almighty sends us guidance to say, come. Allah says come. Allah cannot say come to us unless He has a means for us to come. We have to wake up. Come out of this sleep. We are sleeping. Time is moving. The grave is waiting for us. How are we going to end up in the grave? As dust or alive? Allah says those who die in the way of Allah, there's no death for them. Those are the ones who are asking Allah to be with Allah. Allah says those who die in the way of Allah, they're in the presence of their Lord, taking their sustenance. Because they were where they're living in this life, they were taking their sustenance from Allah. Their bodies don't decay. What do we want? We're not listening. We hear, but we don't listen and apply. And that's why our lives reflect it. We're stressed from dunya. It's too heavy. You can't carry it. It should be your servant, and yet we are serving it. That wasn't meant to be. Be light. Be right. Have might. Do the best fight, the good fight. That is listening to guidance and applying it. Submitting to guidance. Not to a flesh, but the guidance. It comes through. It's coming from somewhere. It's coming from somewhere, to go through somewhere. What is our interest? Everyone has an interest. Individually we have interests. What is your interest? If your interest is dunya, you're going to get that interest. You're going to reach it. Your only goal is to become a millionaire, and that's your interest. Eventually you will reach it. But you will have no portion in the hereafter. But if you want the hereafter, Allah may give you the life, the inheritance of the next life and this life while you're in this life. You have that inheritance plus $1 million. What you going to do with $1 million? Spend it in the way of your Lord. To help people. To reach people. To reach His creation. To wake them up. And that's why Allah says 2 people you should envy. You can envy them. People that have wealth and spend it in the way of Allah Almighty, and those who have knowledge and they share their knowledge.